associate with the hardline Taliban in Afghanistan covers the whole body and the face. The Dutch immigration minister wants to ban the burqa from public places like shops, trains and buses, citing security reasons. MPs have complained the burqa prevents quick identification and it's not woman-friendly, they say. This isn't the first attempt to outlaw Muslim dress in Europe. Headscarves were banned in French schools a year ago. And here in Luton, the schoolgirl Shabina Begum went to court to win the right to wear the hijab instead of her school uniform. In Holland, racial tensions have been particularly high since the murder of Theo van Gogh a year ago. He'd made a controversial film about women in Islam, and his murderer was a homegrown Muslim extremist. Now, Azar Majedi is an activist for Muslim women's rights, and she's here in the studio with me now. Is it legitimate, do you think, to use security reasons, the fact that you can't really tell who's in a burqa or what they've got underneath a burqa? Is that a good reason to try and ban it?
I believe it's reasonable, but I believe there are other good reasons to ban the burqa. Imagine you being employed somewhere, having to deal with customers, students, pupils, and patients covering your face. Would you like to see a nurse covered, with his face covered? Would you like to be a student with your teacher having covered her face? I think from society's point of view, that's a very good reason to ban burqa. But I have other reasons. I'm in favor of women's rights. I've fought for women's rights all my life almost, and I think hijab is enslavement of women. I'm against it, but that doesn't mean, you should ban hijab for all adult women. Just 1 minute, I believe that hijab in all forms and shapes has to be banned for young children underage, and burqa should ban, and I'm in favor of the French law.
If you ban women from wearing a burqa, those who either don't want to go outside without one, or those whose families won't allow them to, you're effectively imprisoning them in their own homes, aren't you?
This is an argument that savvy Muslims use. You see, these are the same kind of, these people who argue you're going to actually imprison women in their houses, they flog you in Iran, in Saudi Arabia, and other countries if you don't observe the hijab. This is not the case. In France, they've researched, actually, because of harassment by some hooligans in ghettos, sort of ghetto areas where Muslim communities, basically immigrants, live, women had to observe hijab because they were scared of being harassed. This law helps them to actually stand for their rights.
What about a woman's right to choose, though, briefly?
A woman's right to choose has to be also looked at from the society's point of view. If you have a secular society should ban all Muslim symbols, as French have done it, or for that matter, okay.
All right, thank you very much for coming in. Still to come.